Hello, my name is Martyr, and this is Let's Play the Spatials, and thank you for watching. Spatials is a mixture of action game, guys, and Tycoon game, with a focus on building a space station, but then you're turning it into a working tourist attraction, kind of. What this kind of boils down to, guys, is somewhat of like a factory type of game. You produce goods, and then those goods are bought so you can expand your factory, aka your space station, more, and you kind of get bigger and bigger and better things. You get the basic idea. Where the twist comes in for this game, guys, is the action aspect of things, where you're kind of spreading your influence all over the galaxy, and you're upgrading your crew. It's a little bit of Star Trek, it's a little Tycoon game, and you'll see what I mean in a bit, guys. It released on Steam March 2015. It was developed and published by Weird and Wry. You can see their logo right there on the bottom right. You can go ahead and get the Spatials on Steam for the first week sale price of $9.74 or $12.99 normally. Now, guys, the Spatials has a lot of cool ideas, but I think it's kind of important to note that this is kind of like a very calm game. It reminds me a little bit of Towncraft. You're not going to get anything done really super fast. It's going to take quite a bit of time investment. It's not super flashy, but it's not super difficult either, and that's kind of another thing I kind of enjoy about it. You're always kind of progressing forward. You're not necessarily going to fail. It's just a matter of time before you conquer the known galaxy, basically, and how you build the efficiency of your space station and how well it runs. Kind of is kind of the focus here, guys. But let's go ahead and start off with the options, guys. Of course, there really isn't too terribly many options to speak of. There is no resolution control. It does go up to 1080p, but I think it just kind of snapped to the highest resolution. But you have window control, full screen, auto DPI. I put it to auto. I'm not really sure what the hell that means, but there you go. You have that. You have some sound sliders, your sound effects, music volumes, and one thing I do really like about this game is it does have rebindable keys. There is no controller support for this game, but you do have completely rebindable keys for your keyboard. Plus, it's not that type of game that you want to play with the controller, to be honest with you guys. And mostly this is kind of all for, well, kind of for the combat mostly, the combat aspect of the game. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of menus and you kind of clicking around. So I'm going to load up into my last game here. And I've been playing for about, I would say, 2 hours, and that's how long it felt. I felt like I needed to get a good, detailed impression of the game. And this is my factory slash, tourist attraction, basically, here. As you can see, there's tourists kind of walking around. I'm going to zoom in the camera quite a bit, which is one thing you can do, which is kind of neat, let you get in on the action. You can see there's tourists right here buying, goods, basically. They're buying fuel and parts for their ship. They're also at my diner eating food, which I'm only producing certain kinds of food right now. And then these multicolored dudes, which you'll see kind of walking around here, like the green shirts, the yellow shirts, the white shirts, the blue shirts, and the red shirts. Those are guys kind of like my crew. Those are the guys who are producing goods for me to sell. And you can see on the top right up here, my credits are going up slowly but surely. So let's talk about everything you're looking at right here, because it's a really complicated UI, and I will say the game does take a little bit of a learning curve. It does have a tutorial, which is represented to you through this little robot guy here. It's the select tutorial chapter. The tutorial is not really, it explains things well enough, but it doesn't necessarily tell you what to do. Like, it doesn't say, this is your overall goal. The overall goal is just to kind of expand and grow and get bigger, better crap. It doesn't necessarily point you in the direction. It doesn't push you. It kind of just lets you figure things out for yourself. So that's why I felt like it took a good 2 hours for me to get the handle of the game. Matter of fact, I didn't even know that I could actually click on certain things in the game until about an hour and a half into the game. That's when I figured, I'm like, oh, this stuff actually does stuff. So, the UI, it's very complicated. There's lots of tabs and buttons here. A lot of it is really simplified, though. On the left side, you have basically everything you can build. All the different kinds of rooms. You click on the left panel, you pick a room that you want. So, like, we'll go over here and say we want a factory room, which is right there. We click on workshop or smelter or kitchen, and then we can produce those kinds of rooms. And basically, you lay it out. All rooms have to be connected by a corridor. They cannot be free-floating. Because you're out in freaking space, for God's sakes. So basically, you have just different kinds of rooms that you can build that all do a different kind of function. There's a storage room, which allows you to store lots of crap, which is what here is on the bottom of the screen, as you can see right here. This is your inventory, which is what you've managed to gather, your stock, what you're producing things with. Like, for instance, I'm taking aluminum and I'm turning it into, spare parts, I think? Yeah, I'm turning it into repair parts right there. I have 39 repair parts. That is being sold in that little purple shop area, which is one of the rooms here that you can actually build, of course, that's one of the commercial rooms. It's only the first one I have. There's a lot of different kinds of room types, guys. There's a lot of different rooms. And how you actually get access to those is through the research tree, which we'll get to in a bit. Like I said, there's a lot of complicated things to get through here. You can also hit the sort inventory button, which is also really nice. We also have equipment things in here, which we'll talk about that in a bit as well. So those are the rooms. On the bottom, like I said, there's an inventory. On the top right here, we have a couple buttons. One basically leads to the pause screen. One is for you kind of the tutorial that gives you a little bit more in-depth information. One is the research tree, and this is a very important thing. This is kind of like how you progress in the game, essentially. You get research points. You take those research points, you get access to bigger, better stuff. So as you can see, I have Service 1, Hall, Factory 1, Logistics, and Living. And as you basically start moving down the tree, you're going to get access to bigger, better stuff, which is going to allow you to please more, tourists. Basically, you're going to allow you to make people more happy. You'll be able to provide them more bigger, better stuff, produce bigger, better, services or goods, etc., etc. So, for instance, if I were to click on the duty-free research part of the tree, I would get a Cheapo Mart, which is enough quality at the right price, personal robots. It sells mini servos. It sells souvenirs, and then I can produce that stuff from the metal press with some aluminum. I could produce a souvenir from the chemical workshop for some aluminum and bugs. So we'll go ahead and unlock that. It's going to cost me 3 research points and 450 credits. So that unlocks that part of the tree. Now, if I wanted to, I would say, okay, let's just keep expanding. Let's go over here. Let's click on Living 1. Well, I don't have enough research points. How do you get more research points? Well, we're going to get into that. On the last button right here, by the way, is basically all the technical information one would want. Like, oh, okay, so this is for those people who are really into number crunching. I'm not really huge into this stuff, but it's there. You have it available to you, and that is nice. So we'll hit on the home button right here, and this always takes you right back to your factory setting, your space station's place where you can expand and start building more rooms. To the right of that, though, you have the galaxy button, and there's 6 sectors for you to explore. So it's a very vast game. I will say that one for sure. There's a lot of here to explore, a lot to do. You basically start off here in the MIDAC system, I'm guessing what it's called, and you can actually explore these planets with your crew. Crew are a very important aspect to this game. They level, they have cravings, they work, they do certain things. Some of them are better than others at certain things, and each of them, depending on their specialization, brings something different to an away mission. Yes, Star Trek style, you're going to send your characters on away missions. So you have the diplomat, which is basically like your captain, the doctor who heals people, the engineer, which is kind of like a middle character. He brings gadgets like grenades and flamethrowers and other crazy weaponry like that. You have your strategist, who is just purely beefy there just to kill and take people out. You have your scientists, which are kind of like your support crew. The scientist and the doctor are definitely your support crew. And you can have a whole hell of a lot of crew as well, guys. You can have a lot of them. But each of them basically costs money to hire, and then you need to start taking care of them, and depending on what level they are, providing different cravings that they may have. So, like for instance, well, actually, none of them actually have any cravings currently because they're not really all that high level. As they get higher level, though, like for instance, Donnie Alon here, which one thing I really wish I want to say, I wish I could rename my crew. I think that was something that I wish the developer would have let me do. I think it would give the game a little bit more customization, letting you name your crew. But as you can see down here's a little chart down here. Your crew basically gets a little higher and higher level, and they can basically do things better. They require different kinds of stuff to keep them happy, and that could be very problematic because if you're not providing it, they're gonna leave. So in that aspect, there is kind of like a way to fail, but at the same time, you can just always hire more crew to counter that. It's really hard to use all your credits and then have nothing, because you always, unless you really get rid of all your crew, they're all gone. No credits, you can hire no more. That's pretty much the only way for there to be a fail scenario here. So as you can see, they can go up pretty high level, all the way up to level 30. That'll increase their cravings and their own objects. Eventually, you can change their work speeds, what they're producing, what they do. You can lay them off, and then you can also upgrade them, which is another very important aspect of things, because as you get deeper and deeper into space and start encountering more, higher level sectors, you're going to have to upgrade their weaponry. You're going to have to upgrade their, for instance, this is a laser level 2. It does 3 energies. Fast, energy efficient. It has a 4 power instead of a 3 power. So we'll go ahead and equip that. When we equip the new one, it's going to automatically destroy the old one. And it's kind of important to keep in mind. So I'm going to go to my my crew here, and I'm going to look up to see who needs this health upgrade the most. So 197. 203. What's your health, sir? 145. Yeah, he definitely needs the health. There we go. So that'll be good for him. And you basically can upgrade your crew because you're going to always be finding different kinds of loot from your away missions. How do you do an away mission? Well, you go back to the galaxy screen here. Again, we go to a sector. We look for an appropriate level planet. So my guys are like, what were the level? They're level 4. So right now we're actually kind of even behind because we're supposed to be over at full set system, but we have to unlock the full set system. We unlock the full set system by completing a quest here on this particular planet. Insikil? I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Gaia planet. It's exploration. We have to unlock the next star system. It gives me 1 research point, gives me some oil, and some credits. So we're going to go ahead and do that. You can, of course, change out crew if you wanted to bring somebody else and you wanted to level up somebody else as well. There's also a resource tab. We'll talk about that after we complete the first mission, because this is the main aspect of the game here, which you'll be doing a lot. Is the combat, is the exploration. She's basically just there to explain to you your overall goal. Your overall goal is always towards that gold arrow. And I will say that the way missions can be slightly repetitive. You kind of always have to head towards the golden arrow, or you're fighting pirates, or you're destroying something, usually. So let's talk about the combat UI. Well, there's a couple of things. On the bottom of the screen, you can see their health and their energy bar, what they've managed to loot so far, and if you don't have enough appropriate space back at your space station, you will have to dump some of it. And their combat abilities. You can actually check out their combat abilities by kind of clicking on them in the staff tab here, and then clicking on special skill, and it'll actually tell you what their special skill is. So for instance, this guy Zachary here has a recharge. Becky has a immobilize. Our doctor, of course, has a quick meds. And Donnie has a grenade, or he could have a fusion missile. Holy crap, that's pretty awesome. All right, we're not going to replace that because I actually like my grenade. Oh, this guy has like a laser rifle. And basically the way you use those, go back here, is you can basically just hit the button. It'll bring up like a little UI. Like for instance, this is the laser rifle. And then it'll fire, it'll use a little bit of energy, and then he can use it again whenever its cooldown is done. So let's go ahead and start getting in some combat here. You basically just left click on enemies, and then you'll automatically kind of start entering combat mode. And you'll start trying to move towards enemies to take them out. So right now we're kind of getting overwhelmed here, but that's okay. Right now I can't even see them very well because of how many friggin' enemies there are everywhere. We're going to back off here a little bit. Okay, here we go. I will say that this particular area is it kind of hides their numbers very well. It's like sand people and shit. Heal them, damn it! And this is kind of combat. It's very simplistic. It's not super complicated. Like I said, you do have those active abilities you can use, which I'm constantly using the heal ability to keep my crew healthy. But otherwise, it's really simplistic combat. Let's go ahead and show off like a grenade really quick. We're going to grenade this little guy right here. He's dead. He's gone. You can zoom in quite a bit too if you want to get a little bit more detailed action. But the only problem with that is it doesn't necessarily let you see very far away. So we're going to go over here. I don't really remember. What is our current mission? It says HQ has determined that your station needs a natural area for peace and contemplation. There's a unique tree that only grows in a very small area on this planet. Find it so you can get your garden started. Okay, that's cool. That sounds like a good idea to me. We found that tree. A little thing will usually pop up when you approach it. A fine specimen, perfect for transplanting into our station. Fools, what do you think you're doing? This guy's probably pissed off. We want to take this tree to our space station. Get back here, dude. Well, you ever thought about asking for permission first? Permission, okay. Do you mind if we take this tree with us? Don't ask me. Ask the tree. Oh, please. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Talk to the tree. Ahem. Hello, tree. Hello. How are you even talking to us? I directly from the words form words inside your brain. So you're not only sentient, you're also xenotelepathic. And quite good at chess, if you must know. Anyway, that entire thing about uprooting, uprooting me wasn't very cool, you know. Oh, we are sorry. We could have given you a very nice home. Okay, but I'm quite content about being here. Don't plan on going anywhere else. We are a very rare breed. We appreciate your conservative efforts, even if you find them misguided. But I have a proposal. A nearby pirate camp is planning a massive barbecue and wants to use our wood as lumber. And this medicine, you can have one of our juveniles. We know a thing about dealing with pirates. Don't worry. All right, so we're going to have to go. We just talked to the friggin' tree. Oh, because we already killed those pirates, so I guess we automatically got the tree. We killed those pirates a little bit over there, so we automatically completed the goal. So as you can see, basically, once you see it completed your goal, mission accomplished, it says leave the planet. We click on this button right here. It says leave or stay. We leave, and we take all of our loot, our experience, and everything we accomplished with us as well. This is basically a little information screen, gives you the alerts. System full set has been unlocked. Make sure to gear up your officers before attempting new challenges. Unlocked collectible object, Lemurian Climber. It's now available for building in the collectible station menu. What that basically is, it's just like we can build now a garden, which basically, again, it makes those things a little bit more, a little bit more peaceful. It helps things. It basically pleases our tourists, essentially. It's just another room type now that we can build. We'll go ahead and show that off really quick. What the hell? We'll go ahead and build a quick room. I'll build it just off of this way. You can basically kind of quickly shift, or not. There we go. Quickly shift what we're going to build here. Whoopsie. There we go. And he's going to start building a tunnel in that direction. And then we'll just quickly grab the floor here. We'll create a little small space for it. Biggity bam. It's done. And then we can basically load it up with, bushes and, stuff to make people happy. He's going to start building that hall there. The construction is rather fast, I will say. I also have quite a bit of money. So that's just a quick example of how the away missions work, guys. How kind of quickly things are going to get done for you, and how you explore sectors. I'm going to let them finish that room up. They will continually do things while you're in other parts of the screen, which I think is also, I'm pretty sure they do anyways, right? Let's see. Oh, I guess not. Hold on, let me see. No, I guess you have to be on the screen for them to see that. Oh, that's okay though. It's kind of important for me to show you this stuff. On the second tab, there's a resource screen, which basically is kind of how you're generating goods. You actually kind of plunder the planet that you conquer, or you basically unlock, essentially. So as you can see, there's lots of resources here on this planet that I don't necessarily have right now. Are they building stuff? Oh, they are building stuff. Okay, so I was right. Cool, that's nice. And then basically you can, as you unlock more planets, you get more goods, which allows you to start producing more things. Again, that factory aspect of things where you're trying to please your customers, essentially. You can also, of course, hire more recruits from your embassies that you unlock as you get deeper into deeper sectors. So you can hire level 2 crewmen right here. So right now, this guy and this guy. And then we're going to want to staff this particular embassy, because as you have embassies, basically kind of what lets you reap the goods from those sectors. So as you can see, it says 12 minutes for exploitation. What that basically means is that every 12 minutes you're going to click, you're going to get the resources that you have harvested from the system, which is what this particular screen is right here. So every 12 minutes I'm going to get some fruit or vegetables, I'm going to get some slime, and I think that's seeds, I'm pretty sure. So we can actually speed that up by assigning somebody to one of the embassies. So we can be like, go over here. I'm not going to assign any because this is my main crew. We'd have to have somebody of appropriate level to do that. But it'll lower the time that it takes to kind of reap the benefits from that particular planet, from that particular sector. So we can see, like on my first sector right here, I have my entire embassy kind of maxed out. Every 2 minutes I'm going to get something from all of these planets, which is mostly water and iron or aluminum, whatever the hell it is. And that's what I'm using to actually kind of produce my base goods right now. Very simplistic. Like I said, it just takes a little bit of a learning curve. Once you actually learn it, though, it becomes kind of a wash, rinse, repeat of a situation. So they probably have that room built by now. It looks very cute, very pretty. So let's start putting some bushes in here. Let's put some bushes there. We'll put a bush there. We'll put a bush. I gotta click the confirm button. Put a bush there. Put a bush there. Let's put some flowered bushes here. I want them there. Let's put a little pond right there in the center. And let's put some Lemurian climbers here and here. Perfect, pretty. And of course that'll basically please certain aspects to these visitors' demands. Like you can see, they all have demands. Like one wants hygiene, some of them have cravings for very particular things, and your goal is to kind of just make them happy, have them spend as much money as possible aboard your station, and then send them off into space and make sure that they're happy. There's also different kinds of races that you'll encounter, also of different kinds of certain races will require certain things to make them happy as well. So it's very simplistic. Like I said, the building aspect to it's not too difficult. It's all about, I guess you could say, efficiency. You want your things as efficient as possible. I'm not really good at efficiency. I'm just kind of building things loosey-goosey. I was just playing around with it. But it's a very important aspect is to build things as efficiently and as quickly as possible. The other screen right here, which is this little cross sword thing right here, is actually another means of getting more resources for you to expand, for you to produce goods. It's kind of like sending your people away on missions, so you can like say, okay, well, I'm going to send some people away. I'm going to click best officers, so it's going to send these 3 guys. And then basically it tells you your chance of success. A little bit almost like the Assassin's missions from Assassin's Creed. And they basically tell you your chance of success and then what you'll get from that. So we'll say start. We'll basically click that. It'll take me 3 minutes. I'll get 25 seats from that, which I can use to produce something, I'm sure. And that's kind of just another means of, producing goods, leveling up your officers. It's all about pushing forward. Like I said, there's no real losing. It's just a matter of time before you get things done. As far as the graphics and all that goes, it's cute. I enjoy the little portraits. I think it's kind of neat. Each of them is kind of individualized. I think they're really cute looking. I wish I could rename my freaking crew. I think it would just give that one little bit of customization, which would take things over the top, and maybe making even a little bit care if, for instance, they were to fall in combat. Although they really can't fall in combat because they just go right back to stasis and then they can come back. The only way to lose an officer is through their needs not being met and eventually them just getting so upset that they leave. Other than that, that's basically it. But yeah, I mean, it's a really solid game. It's a fun game, but it's a passive game. It's like Towncraft, in my opinion. It's a very slow-paced game. You're not going to get everything done really fast. It's not super flashy. It's a relaxing game. Even the music is relaxing. It's kind of just, it's like, oh, it's just really smooth and slow, guys. That's what you're going to get from this game. Smooth, relaxing, kind of an action tycoon game. Even though the missions you have those and those are a little fun, they can get slightly repetitive. But even those are not necessarily the most difficult things in the world. They do increase in difficulty though as you accomplish them though. Like for instance, you can go from normal to hard and you'll get hopefully bigger, better rewards here. I'm not really sure what you get for doing higher level missions. Let's go ahead and do one really quick. We'll do really quick. I know exactly where the chef is. Hey, maybe it's just try to kill you more. Am I shooting that guy through that wall there, or is that just me? I mean, I'm higher level than these guys. How are these guys putting up such resistance? It's because it's hard. Okay. Fantastic. Give her one of energy recharge there. Hey, pirates! Die! Maybe you'll get better items. I think that's probably what it is. You get better items, better item rewards for doing missions here with a higher difficulty. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! We're dying! We're dying! We're dying! Clickety clickety! 2! Throw a grenade! Oh my god! They're all ending up in stasis. All right, we only got 3 crew members left. We're not doing good here. All right, we're actually probably gonna abort this mission. But that gives you a good example of the difficulty. Things do get a little bit harder. Probably require a little bit more upgrading. But again, there's really no loss. They're just there again. They're unhappy. That's not good. We got to fix that a little bit later. But again, there's really no loss to it. Even if you die, they can come back. There's really no way to lose anybody in particular, guys. The art style's cute, guys. Like I said, it's serviceable. It works for me. The music's nice. I think it suits things well. The sound effects are good. The controls are pretty smooth in how to lay things out. It's not super difficult. As a matter of fact, it's kind of easy. Just learning the basics of what does what and why is what kind of takes up the time here, guys. Oh, we can make souvenirs now. Right, I forgot we can make that now. And then, of course, we get research points, which allow us to kind of expand forward, guys. And you're kind of always constantly pushing forward, guys. And I think that gives you kind of a good idea of what to expect from the Spatials, guys. It's a cute game, relaxing game, slow-paced game. Don't expect anything super action-packed, and just expect a nice Tycoon game, guys. There's also Steamy Goodness, Steam cards, and Steam achievements, guys. For those who like that kind of thing and find that important, you have that available to you, guys. So I just want to say big thanks to the developer for a chance to check out this title. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and share, and I'll keep bringing you awesome indie games, guys. If you really enjoyed this video, maybe consider hitting up that tip jar. If you're feeling generous of heart, all tips go to improving the channel or future giveaways. Till next time, guys, play more indie games!